Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Iqbal 24777. So today I'm going to talk about the takaful industries in Malaysia in terms of their performance and also some of the challenges and prospects. So first of all, before I go further, uh, let me differentiate first what is conventional insurance and the takaful. So basically, takaful is a joint guarantee which hold the concept of tabaruk, which is means donations, and also ta'awun, which is mean mutual cooperation. So, for the better understanding, is a promise that firstly agree to establish a mutual fund and donate money into the fund, then provide a joint guarantee or protection among themselves. So this is the biggest differences between the conventional one and the takaful. The objectives of having takaful is to help each other when they are into troubles or any harm or for protection for them. And under the AAORF Act, which is the accounting and auditing organization of Islamic financial institutions, it is a donate part of contribution used to pay claims. It is as insurance contract, like I said before. We collect funds and pull it in a one side and then give to those participants or subscribers that have takaful and help them if they are need protection. So for the conventional, if any losses occurs, so the policyholder get compensation in varying amount. So it could lead to the uncertainty, which is differentiate between the takaful and the conventional one. In the takaful, we can include uncertainty in the process to have the claim, but in the conventional, they got uncertainty where the participant is uncertain about the claim that they got. Even though the word takaful does not mention in Quran, but in Islam itself, it is emphasized to help each other, which is similar with the concept of the takaful, which is the mutual cooperation. So, about the takaful performance in Malaysia, Muslim community in Malaysia is very much underinsured for family takaful, but it is also accepted by non-Muslim. So it shows that the Muslim communities only exposed about the family takaful and do not know about any others insurance. Alright, so this is the growth of the insurance and takaful on the first half of 2017. So the red one is for takaful and the blue one is for insurance. So for the general, the growth is 5.9%, while the family takaful is 7.7%, while the life insurance is 5.2% and the general insurance is 1.8%. So this shows how takaful is slowly developed compared to the insurance, even though it is Islamic one, but the growth are is not that small. Alright, next is for the net contribution of the takaful. We can see here there is much agreement of the year by year of in terms of the net contribution. 2005, we can see that it is 1.3337 millions, and in 2009 is 352.1.8 million. So there is a much gap from year by year. It is also because people get acknowledged about the takaful. Alright, basically in Malaysia, the civil court jurisdiction will take the case related with Islamic Bank in takaful, but the existence of IFSA, there's a lot of changes that they make, which is dedicated takaful operators for each takaful business to ensure that they got the different guidelines and the different law about Islamic Bank and the takaful. And then for according to research, some of the people in Malaysia do not have confidence with the treatment and the claims from the takaful side, because of like I said before, they get less exposure, they get less knowledge about the takaful compared to the insurance, because for them insurance, they can see they can see how much the claims that they will get, but in reality it is still uncertain amount that they will get. They will never know, because it depends on the situation, and it depends on the condition that they have fulfilled. And for takaful, you can claim within the amount that you need from the fund that you get from the other subscribers. And also, because of they gain less confident, is because they have a doubt in the takaful insurance compared to the conventional one, because they think that in the takaful, the thing when it is Islamic contract, so it is less power than the conventional one. And then speaking of the prospect of the takaful, based on the penetration rate that I showed before,
Malaysia's penetration rate for insurance is low, at 14.3% for takaful and 40.1% for conventional insurance.
despite the robust growth, takaful gain 10% of growth, and the conventional is 40%. So it's still lower, it is smaller takaful rate compared to the conventional one. So we need more efforts to ensure that the robust growth is higher than the conventional one. The industry is expected to grow 15% to 20% annually. So like I said before, effort and engagement will lead the strategies planned to ensure a successful future can be achieved and giving higher prospect in industry. So everyone need to struggle in order to achieve their targeted growth that they want to achieve. And speaking of the strategies and plan, actually they have already planned some of the strategies, but there are certain issues, there are certain difficulties that they encountered. So the first challenges is lack of awareness. I mentioned this many times because of it is obvious. As we know, Islamic financial institution plays an important role in order to maintain the availability or the sustainability of the takaful in Malaysia itself. So study shows that elder were less aware than younger generation. Married victims were less aware than single victims. These studies is conducted to the victims of the flood in the Coast East area in Malaysia. While the higher level education is more aware of takaful rather than those who get who don't get the higher level education. So it shows that every level of community have a problem of the exposure of the takaful. So IFI should play their role by giving an educational or advertisement, or they can approach to one by one. And the second one is the lack of regularity lead to misinterpretation. Subscriber is increasing, but instead of that increment, scholars debating on issues including the interpretation. So every region got their meaning and practices. They get confused because many models are takaful and they do not know what kind of model that they need to implement. So there is no standardized. So the confusion will give the bad impact to the customer, disclosure, protection, and transparency. Right, and then it is insufficiency of Sharia combined asset. lack of investment or shortage in investment, especially in long-term duration. As the takaful have growth, there could be a confusion to figure out which is the best asset to invest, because the Sharia scholars may not agree the factor that cause possibly develop takaful industry. To apply and implement asset liability management for takaful apparatus, it could be more difficult because the availability of Islamic investment vehicle of suitability, duration, and liquidity of limited. So, takaful industries is forced to invest in diversified regional equity or real estate markets to create mismatch between its asset and liability profiles. So for overall, uh, the education and everyone need to get information about takaful, so they could know what is differences between the conventional and the takaful one. So everyone need to play a role in order to make takaful is more get practice than the conventional. So